to another session of 8x Pixel Expo 8th Monthly Webinar Global Webcast, December series. So happening on every 8th of the month as we convene over a united cause, that is our love for diving and the ocean. So for today's session, we have FreeDiving101 with Walid Boudhiaf. Walid is a freediving world record holder in the discipline of variable weight with a depth of 150 meters. His quest for new performances has led him to shift the limits of the human body and to explore different training and breathing techniques, as well as developing advanced tools for the mind, such as stress management and deep relaxation. So now we will let Walid share his passion and experiences with us. The floor is yours, Walid. Walid, you can start speaking now.
Hi, Kushi, how are you doing?
I'm good, Walid.
Yeah, this is the video you just saw was from the world record I achieved in January this year, 150 meters. It was the result of several months and actually years of training and slow adaptation to conditions like pressure, big pressure, narcosis, and other obstacles I found during my preparation and my training.
All right, so let's watch the video now. Honestly, that was such a great video. I was really drawn in and honestly at the edge of my seat when you were descending. And then when you came up out of the water and you cheered, I felt that. So I just want to know I'm sure you've prepared like immensely for this. So can you please share more about that?
Yeah, sure. As I said before, the result months and actually years of training in freediving.
Mhm.
Um, for this specific record, I was based in I was in Egypt for 4 months
Right.
going for this particular discipline for the variable weight because as you know, freediving has different disciplines, different
Yeah.
categories. Um, I usually train in the constant weight disciplines with the fin, without fins, or free immersion. And last year I decided to start trying variable weight and give it a shot.
Mhm.
I found it interesting and fun, and there are different aspects that attracted me of this kind of specific free diving, like the mental part of it, the
Yeah.
adaptation to because it's I mean 150 meters a serious depth, so I needed a lot of time to adapt my lungs and my body and my mind also to those depths.
Yeah, I'm sure. And personally, I have no experience in freediving and actually diving in general. But so could you please give us like a short introduction on freediving to the viewers?
Sure. So basically, freediving is about holding your breath and going as deep as possible to a certain depth.
Mhm.
Um, the concept sounds easy, but it's actually a bit more complex than that. So we go through a long periods of training in order to adapt our bodies to and our lungs to the pressure, obviously to the lack of oxygen also because we're holding our breath. But I wouldn't say it's the most important part. I mean, anybody could hold their breath, train and hold their breath for several minutes if they want to on dry. But once you go down there and once you reach a certain depth, the pressure is so big and it's huge on the lungs. So this process takes years and years of preparation and training. So before a competition or a record attempt, we have to announce the depth we're going to attempt.
Okay.
Right. So that obliges you to be aware of your capacities, and you have to pick up a number. So you're 100% sure you can achieve this number. So this is what freediving is about: knowing your limits, knowing what your body's able to handle, and also the mind, because at the end it's a very mental sport. It goes a lot. There's a mental training we go through. There's a lot of relaxation. It's actually relaxation is one of the main pillars and the basis of the sport, because basically if you're tense, if you're stressed out, then your brain will burn a lot of oxygen, and that's not something we want to when we dive.
Of course, yeah, I'm sure it takes a lot of practice and training. But what made you realize like you wanted to get into this certain discipline?
Say it again, sorry.
Sorry, like what drove you into freediving?
Well, first I would say the love of the ocean. I grew up by the shores of the Mediterranean Sea when I was a kid. I grew up in Tunisia, and there's a strong bond to the ocean, to the sea.
Yeah.
It's part of the culture of the Mediterranean countries. So basically, I started going to the sea when I was maybe 4 or 5 years old and swimming there. And I always had this strong connection with the sea. So I started spearfishing as a lot of kids of my age back then, but didn't know about the sport of freediving. I mean, I heard about it. I watched that movie, Deep Blue, Big Grand Bleu. I didn't know you could actually, learn and train for the sport, like diving, also like scuba diving, courses, and it's actually for everyone. Until I started traveling around the world, and when I arrived to South America, concretely to Colombia, I discovered the sport of freediving, and that's where I started training a bit more seriously. Back then I was having a job, so I would, train after work. And, slowly I started getting better and better at holding my breath and going deep. What's really attracted me about my limits, about the human body's limits, and basically how deep I could go, or how long I could hold my breath. That's what always attracted me.
Yeah, it sounds like you traveled the world, huh? So
yeah, well, usually in our sport, we freedivers have to move quite a lot.
Yeah.
The perfect spot, or which doesn't exist actually, but we always for better conditions, better training conditions, environments, and sometimes for business opportunities. We have also to make a living and run either school courses, or teach, or look for sponsors also.
Yeah, so from diving all over the world, which one would you say would be your favorite, or at least like the most interesting spot that you've done?
Well, there are so many, and I would enjoy each one of them differently.
Yeah.
For instance, I love the Mediterranean. It's for some reason I feel like at home when I'm in places like Turkey, Greece, south of France. I really enjoy those places, also for the culture and food. Food is very important for us.
Yes.
So I really enjoy that. It's a part of a lot of things. It's not only the being in the sea. It's also sharing with others, tasting the local cuisine, etc. I have some favorite places in the Caribbean also. Dean's Blue Hole in the Bahamas is one of them. It's like the perfect spot for this sport. We have like perfect conditions all year round, so it's really cool. There's another place also, San Andres in Colombia, which are really special because that's where I started freediving. I discovered the sport there. So it's close to my heart, if you will. And some other places like Roatan, also in Honduras, is a lovely place. Curacao, I've been there also teaching and starting the school there. So there are so many places I couldn't.
Right, you can't pick one. But I heard you haven't traveled to Asia.
Unfortunately not, and it's always been on my list. And I have a lot of friends in Taiwan, really good friends, in Korea, in Japan, so in Philippines, in Indonesia.
One day.
I know so much about these places because I read so much and seen so many videos and photos that I could even say, oh, this is from Indonesia, or this is from Philippines, because it's already but I have to visit soon.
Yeah, definitely. Is there any one country in specific that you like to explore?
I've always been attracted by the Philippines. Beautiful videos. It seems like an amazing place. Or Indonesia too.
Yeah, those two countries, very near Singapore as well. So,
Sure. Of course, Singapore too. Yeah.
Yeah, so back to your freediving world record. I'm sure you've been in many other competitions and projects. Do you have any, want to talk about the past?
I've been freediving for the last 15 years or so. I've been participating in many different competitions. I recently was in Turkey for the World Champs. I had 3 medals, so I was really happy with the experience.
Well, congratulations.
Thanks. I usually prefer, small competitions, and for some years I've been organizing my own competitions.
Oh.
And competing at the same time, which was a bit of a not always. Was a bit of a challenge, but I really enjoyed it because it taught me so much about mental control, about stress management, about all these things you have to deal with when you're both organizing and competing. it allowed me also to know all the aspects of, about safety, about the team, about all the people surrounding such a big event, such an important event. So it was fun. I did it for some years, for 6 years. But then I'm only dedicated to travel to some specific competitions or event and training and attempt for fun also, because it's a lot of fun to free dive. So that's what I most.
Okay, and any competitions in the future that you look forward to?
Yeah, sure. Well, the major event will be Vertical Blue in August. It's an important event. It's kind of the Wimbledon of freediving, so I keep on going there almost every year.
Yeah.
And then probably the World Championships. There's still no specific date for it, but I guess around October, hopefully in Turkey also. So yeah.
Those two, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure COVID has disrupted your plans, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
So how? So with the diving industry and everything.
Oh, especially last year was especially tough for many of us. Actually, it was funny because I was stuck in Colombia here in South America.
Okay.
And well, I thought we didn't know it was so serious, so I just kept on training. But then everything closed, and we were locked down here at home. So I had to buy and rent basic gym equipment so I could at least continue my workout at home. I couldn't even walk in the room, so I had to, and then just hold my breath in my bed, dry. I couldn't access the water, so I did that for 3 to 4 months, and then I was lucky enough. The French embassy was organizing some humanitarian flights to France, so that was leave the country and go somewhere where I could train. So I went to France. My mother lives there, so there's close to Switzerland, and I started diving in the lake. It was freezing cold. It was very different, conditions. And then in the south of France, in Nice, I was diving with the local fellow French freedivers. Very people and friends. So I spent some time there, and then I was lucky enough. The only competition last year was one of the rare competitions was held in Greece. So I went there, and once Europe started its lockdown again, I had to leave the country and Egypt. So and that kind of changed my plans because I had to show my sponsors also that I was competing, and I needed. There was no competition. Yeah. I started thinking about the variable weight world record attempt. So it was handy because the team there was specialized in kind of diving, and that's how I actually came to that idea of attempting the world record in variable weight. It wasn't something I planned for before.
Yeah, it just happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool. Yeah, it's lucky. So I heard you're also part of a dive school, Vertical Blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a school here in Colombia on the island of San Andres, and another one in Curacao. I put them on hold during COVID, so I had a long break from teaching, and hopefully I hope I can resume and start again very soon. In the meanwhile, I'll be teaching in the Bahamas at the Innsbruck Hall. So if anybody's willing to visit that part of the world, it's really wonderful island.
So is there a specific type of people, like children or adults, that you guys cater to?
As I said before, I mean, freediving is for everybody. Usually freediving are for adults, so you have to be at least 16 years old.
Okay.
There are some courses for children, for kids. but yeah, we usually teach every kind of persons. I mean, you don't have to be especially fit or there's no specific age for freediving. I mean, you can be 50 or more, 70
That
years
is true.
old. So
Yeah.
yeah. So and it teaches you you learn so many things, about your body, of course, about your breathing. It's very important
Okay. So there's also classes.
of it. So it's really something that I
Right. Okay. So sorry, you got cut off there a little bit, but I'm just gonna give me a second.
sure.
Okay, yeah. So your classes, you guys provide in the Colombian waters. How is that different from the rest?
Well, for freediving, we need specific conditions
Okay.
for depth. Well, basically, we have to find depth first. So
Yeah.
it's not easy, deep enough waters close to the shore. And we don't want to travel for miles, uh, out there, because if anything wrong happens, if we have to rescue somebody, I mean, it doesn't happen. It doesn't. You have to be close enough to hospital or,
Right.
so these places are scarce. So one of them is San Andres Island, or the other places I talked about, because we have usually nice conditions like no current, good temperature, crystal clear waters. So these are usually the conditions you're looking for when you want to take a course.
Right. And your classes are in groups or are they one-to-one?
Both. I mean,
Both?
usually groups are very tiny groups, max for instructor.
Course,
For freediving, we need to have a small ratio, student to instructor ratio. It's for safety reasons. So the instructor need to be, taking care of everyone separately. And sometimes we do one-on-one also. It depends, on the courses.
And with these instructors, do you guys have specific certification or how does that come about?
Yeah, sure. They are okay. So nowadays we have different schools that have different systems. The one I've been working with is called IDA. IDA is one organization that certifies worldwide. It's one of the oldest, also. It's not the oldest, and it's usually the one I work with because it's recognized everywhere also. So say if you get your certification in the Bahamas, you can go back to Singapore and train, or in the Philippines or wherever. So it's accepted everywhere.
That's great. Okay, so I think we're coming to the end of our session soon, but is there any advice or any freediving secret you'd like to share with our viewers?
The only secret I would say is consistency and training and being passionate about it. I would say it's a fascinating journey. Sorry. I learned so much, as I said, about myself, about the human body and mind. So I invite everybody to take the course first. I would say that's the first advice. You don't want to hold your breath alone on your own. Don't go to the ocean alone. Many people think freediving is an activity where you don't depend on tanks or scuba equipment. You can just jump into the ocean and hold your breath and go as deep as you can. It doesn't work like that. So you have to be with a certified instructor. You have to be with a buddy. So this is the first advice I would tell people.
Okay, that is great. Great piece of advice, Walid. Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your experiences with us. I really hope the borders open up soon so we can, meet face to face and have a better conversation on this. And I hope to see you at the next 8X Pixel physical show that's probably coming up soon.
Wonderful. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah, and for any of the viewers, if they have any questions, they can always leave them in the comments and we'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. So stay tuned for our next session happening shortly. Pixel 101 Photographer and Videographer of the Month, Tom St. George, moderated by Adam Handon. All right, thank you so much. See you soon. Bye, Walid.
Bye. Take care. Thank you.